going on, Knights? Critical Redemption here, and let's get into the story of Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 is set an untold number of years, decades, or even centuries later after the events that shaped and unfolded in both Dark Souls games. So if you remember, famous locals and New Orlando and have faded into memory. So get this, in their stead lies a mighty kingdom that has become home of the Lords of Cider. Even though it exists so far removed from the events of last two games, you will remember their influence can be felt once again. The first flame is on the verge of being extinguished, so you guys have to go through. The Lords of Cider have vacated all thrones and you're going back to their lands. The player's character is resurrected from the dead and not a savior or hero, and that is your choice. You're destined for greatness, but you're also an errand boy, given the formal title as Ashen One. Many of the NPCs you'll encounter are to call you very unkinded, and there's also the story, and it also depends on how deep the player wants to dig into the game's lore. So that's all for the story. You make up the story, it's your decision. So let's get into this review of what I think for Dark Souls 3 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So the gameplay, Dark Souls 3 has its firm roots in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2. So if you remember those, you'll be right at home with this. Firelink Shrine functions similar to the Nexus in Demon Souls, as it is cut off from the rest of the kingdom. So, however, areas outside of Firelink are large and riddled with shortcuts and pathways, so mind you, that feed into each other. I really enjoyed the sense of exploration afforded to Dark Souls method of travel, so I don't feel so bad about the game's return to the earlier form. I still get the same warm, fuzzy feeling of exploration like I did in the old games. There's plenty of room to roam, which is good. The NPCs cross-pass with the player and provide local color of many opportunities to purchase equipment, so the equipment option is very well done in this game. Most characters will follow you back to Firelink and offer their services, which is real cool. Human players, for example, can be friend or foe. That's up to them, lending their assistance for both boss battles or invading to make a life special slice of hell. So it is their decision if they want to help you or not, and that's something that's very interesting for this game. In another nod to Demon Souls, magic is no longer qualified by a spell's of uses. So, for example, instead, magic and weapon skills are managed by mana. This puts the player to better understand their capabilities and know when to use magic, because the meter cannot be refilled unless you visit Bonfire. So, which you have to respawn enemies or using the new Ashen Flask. So you're probably wondering what that is. The amount of flask kept on hand can be switched by visiting a blacksmith. So I really like this system because it lets the player dictate how many use each vessel gets. So for example, sorcerers and pyromancers are going to want to have a lot of Ashen Flask on hand, while warriors and tanks will focus primarily on Estus. For the in-betweeners, there's a nice happy medium. So you have a lot of different options to customize your character and become that legend that you did in the previous titles. Many also controls are weapon skills, and also if you remember Bloodborne, these skills are secondary attacks that can be buff the character and open new combat moves, so it gives you an opportunity to advance your character. Having shields, weapons that offer such bonuses go a long way in my opinion. So making the character you create feel different from everyone else, and that's something I really enjoyed. It means to encourage people to experiment in previous games. You can experiment within this game, and that's something I really had fun doing. I will say it was easy to find one weapon and stick it with for the entire game, especially after they've been reinforced and infused with special embers. So think of it this way, gamers. This has meant a lot of unused items, longer just about damage output of the scaling. So, for example, I've spent the majority of my game using a standard shield, and an axe that grants huge strength for your character. To use the skill, I have two-hand the weapon and press an A button to indicate the buff animation, so leaving me open for an attack, which kind of sucks, but during my next session, I found shield that lets me cast the buff without having to hold the axe in both hands. There's so many things to do in Dark Souls 3 to pick up apart from where you left off previous. However, I'll refrain from talking about that right now, so let's get into the graphics and what I thought about them. Now for the graphics. If you've played Bloodborne in the previous titles, you're gonna feel right at home, and the graphics are the most beautiful thing in this game. Dark Souls 3 is beautiful. I mean it in every word. I mean, the story is fantastic, the environments are large and provide a nice once in a while change in scenery. The scenery is outstanding. That being said, I'm playing the game on a very technical aspect because I wanted everyone to find out what I really think of this game, because I enjoyed playing through Bloodborne and the previous titles. The visuals are beautiful. The graphics for the characters and the monsters are outright outstanding. You'll have such amazing time going through this world and exploring and seeing all the visual detail that the creators have put into this game. Even the title screen is outstanding. You see that they really worked hard on it. I've had this happen to me several times where I would just stare at the title screen and it's pretty funny. But playing as this warrior and going through these different levels and seeing all this blood and guts come out from defeating the monsters with the different various weapons, you see the visual detail on the blood, on the ground, on the buildings, and just you look into the sky and it's just amazing. I'm telling you, these graphics are top notch in this game, and I think they're as good or even better than Bloodborne. And that's just my opinion, but the graphics department, they did such a fantastic job, and I have to praise them for that. So gamers, my final verdict for this game, I have a little nitpick I have to complain about real quick, but it's very minor. And listen, when you see the game's title screen, you will see some low frame rate issues, and it will kick you back to the title screen sometimes when you're playing. I've had this happen to me several times, and it got really annoying, but I totally get what kind of game where you don't want to have frame drops. That's the only thing that I really did not like about the game. Like all other games before, Dark Souls 3 is rich. It's also full of content. They will keep the community busy for hours. I mean, every nook and cranny and item description in the hunts for secrets and lore is ridiculous. Returning Dark Souls players are going to have no problem adapting to the game's newest challenges. That meaning the boss battles, the customization, all the weapon upgrades, everything. It's familiar but in a good way, like being reunited with a close friend. And the best part is, it's all new content. New places to explore, enemies to analyze, and plenty of homages to past games like Dark Souls 3 won't be for everyone. So it doesn't shy away from the deserved reputation of being difficult, but however, the rewards are plenty for every RPG player out there. I feel like I repeat myself with every release and review that I do for these type of games, but however, the rewards are plenty. I feel like I have such an awesome time playing this game. I only rented it due to the fact that I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, because I did see some reviews where they were like very negative and they said it's just like the old games and it's kind of boring. But you know what, I took a chance with it. I avoided obstacles big and small, and it was a major accomplishment. But the pride of exploration and, you know, the whole character design and everything you do to customize your character is something that I really enjoy. This game will not get a 10 out of 10 from me. Knights, I will give this game an 8.0 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for me because, number one, I don't really play these type of games, but I review these games for you because I know that you Knights love these type of games, RPG, no matter what it is. And I also wanted to apologize for not being around for a week. I've been having to just do things in real life, but I'm going to be making more videos. I'm going to be pushing out more reviews, and also I wanted to announce some new things that are coming to my channel, so look out for that video and next time. And don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you for all the subscribers. It's outrageous. I'm going on 1,400 already, 97,000 views. That's insane. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Happy gaming. Take care.